Welcome back to another Is That Legal podcast with my co-host Cristina from BlueZone Legal. Hey, how are you doing today, Cristina?
I am great, thank you.
I tell you what, today we have an awesome day, and I can't wait to kind of maybe give you a little bit of information about BlueZone Legal. You know, as soon as I came to Costa Rica, it was my second day in Costa Rica, and I needed to buy a motorcycle. I had rented a vehicle from the airport down, and renting a vehicle can get expensive. So I said, well, I'm just going to buy a motorbike real quick. Well, I go to buy a motorbike, and I had no clue that I couldn't just buy a motorbike. I had to hire an attorney. I'm like, what? Really? So, I quickly realized after 10 years of being in Costa Rica that your most valuable asset is having a trusted attorney, somebody that can really help you with all of your legal needs. And, I met Cristina and BlueZone Legal, and it's just been amazing at just finally finding an honest law firm. And she has a great team, and I can't wait to introduce them to you. So, hey, why don't I bring them on the screen right now, and we'll get to meet each and every one of them. So, here we go. This is Eddie, BlueZone Legal's senior attorney and public notary. Hey, Eddie, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Alan. Thank you for inviting me again to your podcast. This is very exciting. It's always a pleasure to be here.
Fantastic. And we also have Jocelyn Garcia. She is BlueZone Legal's residency and corporate specialist. Jocelyn, I'm so glad you're here. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. I'm very happy to be here.
Fantastic. And then last but not least, we got Mario Sanchez. He is the environmental law and sustainability specialist for BlueZone Legal. Man, I'm so glad that you're here, Mario. How are you doing?
I'm really good. And you?
I'm doing great. So glad that you're here. So this right now is the BlueZone Legal team. And look, I am so glad to have everybody here. Today is a special day. Today is BlueZone Legal's 1-year anniversary of when they incorporated and trademarked BlueZone Legal in Costa Rica.
Thank you.
Tell me a little bit about that, Cristina.
Well, thank you, Alan, for having us all. I have to say I'm super excited to have all my team here. I'm very proud of them. It's amazing to work with them. And today, as you're saying, we celebrate 1 year of our corporation being established. And that's the corporation we used to operate as BlueZone Legal. It's been a 1-year journey, and I love every day of that journey.
Now, it has been a lot of growing and starting, but you know what? You didn't just start with BlueZone Legal. Give me a little bit about your history, Cristina, because you have been in Costa Rica for a long time, and you have been working in the legal field for many, many years. So give me a little bit of history about yourself.
Thank you, Alan. Sure. Well, this year, I also celebrate 20 years from the first experience in the legal field. 20 years ago in 2004. And this year, I celebrate 10 years in Costa Rica. So a lot of celebrations. And it's been amazing, honestly. When I started working in Italy for the attorneys that represent the state of Italy, which was my first experience, Avvocatura dello Stato is called in Italy, I never would have imagined what the journey will be. I started there in Sardinia, a BlueZone, by the way. And then I continued in Milan, working for a boutique law firm in white-collar crimes, compliance. And then in 2014, I came to Costa Rica to work for a big Central American law firm. I used to work in the office in San Jose. And I was able to learn about Costa Rica. BlueZone Legal is not my first experience as an independent professional in Costa Rica. In 2020, I founded Cribo with the Costa Rican partners to provide services for expats. And then 1 year ago, I decided to continue on my own. What is my goal with BlueZone Legal? My goal is, as an expat, to share my experience to other expats here and make sure that we at BlueZone Legal provide the best team of attorneys and notary public available. At least that's my goal, of course, and I've been able to to discover Eddie and Mario and Jocelyn and to create an amazing team. And our goal is just to be here of assistance.
You do have two different offices in Costa Rica. Where are they located at?
One is the main office is in DMG Business Center in San Jose. And we do also have an office, a smaller one in Nosara, but most of our clients are in the Guanacaste area. And thanks to the office in Nosara, we are able to meet and satisfy all their needs. But having the bigger office in San Jose allows us to handle all the matters with the public registry, with immigration directly. So we are very efficient in terms of handling with the authorities based in San Jose because we are there too. But you don't need to be in San Jose to work with us. You have us in Guanacaste, and honestly, we are able to cover the entire territory. We just, you need us in the South of Costa Rica, we just come to you. We love what we do. We love traveling and discovering places. And I have to say that Eddie is amazing. I've never heard him say no, that is too far away. He's like, sure, we go, amazing, fantastic. So, yeah.
So that's awesome to know. Even though you have two offices, which is great, it doesn't matter where a person is located in Costa Rica. If they're all the way on the southern border by San Vito, close to Panama, it doesn't matter. If they're buying property in San Vito, BlueZone Legal can help them to make sure that everything is done right so that they can buy that property. It doesn't have any liens, doesn't have any problems. No matter where your customer is at in Costa Rica, you can help them.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Fantastic. And that's extremely important because, I've worked with attorneys and they maybe only work in that particular city. And so it's really good to know that BlueZone Legal, it doesn't matter where you're at, they can help you. Because I've been here, since November 2013, in a little over 10 years. So you and I kind of came down here about the same time. I've gone through a lot of TICO attorneys, and some of them were good. Anywhere in the world, you're going to run into bad people who will take advantage of you. And I think a lot of people have heard about the horror stories of making sure you hire the right attorney in Costa Rica, because I went through some bad things and I decided, well, let me try Cristina. And Cristina was great. I mean, I always was getting responses and replied back. Great to have that professional response. And so it was really good to work with Cristina. And then I've watched you just kind of grow, and you decided to make BlueZone Legal, and you found the best of the best to help you. Because instead of, you can anywhere in Costa Rica, there's lots and lots of attorneys, and you can hire an attorney, but normally they don't have a whole law firm. It's rare to find a law firm that has experts in Costa Rica. And that's exactly what you've done, Cristina.
Thank you. Yeah, it really is. And it's been a pleasure to assist the expat community. Most of our clients are expats. So I speak 4 languages. I speak English, Spanish, Italian, and German. And each and every one of my team speak also English, not just Spanish, and they also speak other languages too. So my role that I see as a leader, and it's funny to say leader, but I try to make sure that we communicate in a way that is clear to an expat. And that's where I think we make the difference. Having me as an expat, I've been, dealing with Costa Rica for over 10 years. I fell in love with this country. I decided to have my family here, and I will hopefully never leave this country because it's amazing.
I agree with you. I've been here 10 years. I don't think I'll ever leave Costa Rica. No matter where you go, there's going to be some negatives. But, I've learned to focus on the positives, and there's way more positives about Costa Rica than the negatives. But I've learned that Costa Rica is so, so very different that I must, without a doubt, I just could not make it in Costa Rica without having an awesome law firm to help me. So you've got some experts. Let's talk about Eddie. Eddie Perez is your senior attorney and public notary. Now, Eddie, tell me a little bit about your history and why you're with BlueZone Legal.
Thank you, Alan. It's a long road. I'm the old guy here. So it all started when I was a kid. I used to read Roman law books instead of reading comics. So I have a passion for law for a long time. I studied my high school in New York City, so I pretty much know about American culture. and then I came back to study law right here in Costa Rica. I've been working for about 25 years, 25 plus years in law as an assistant. I work in corporations, and I have been working for the big law firms right here in Costa Rica, especially in corporate law and real estate. Also, I like labor law, and I'm a compliance specialist, a corporate compliance specialist. And I'm a legal tech specialist also from the George Washington University. Also, I'm studying right now to be my master's degree in business law in the Universidad Politécnica of Catalunya, which I wish that I finished this year. So it's a very long road from the start, from my start to here. And about a year ago, Cristina, well, I contacted Cristina and she hired me. I'm very pleased. I see BlueZone are making us grow as professionals and as a team.
Okay. Now, there's something that, as an expat, when I see public notary, because in the United States, almost anybody can be a public notary. Matter of fact, Rebecca, my wife, is a public notary. But, a public notary in the United States is completely different than a public notary in Costa Rica. From my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong here, not anybody can be a public notary in Costa Rica. You actually got to be an attorney for so many years. And I mean, it's a lot of training. So tell me the difference between a public notary in Costa Rica versus the United States.
Yeah, right here in Costa Rica, you have to be an attorney for at least 2 years. Then you have to become a specialist in public notary, and you have to take I don't know if it's called a master or just a specialist, but you have to be a specialist public notary. So it's a lot different than the US, because you have to be first a professional and prove that you are very um, clean and professional in your career to become a public notary. Yeah.
Okay, so you have to you not only do you have to have the experience, but you have to have a clean record as
A
an
clean record.
attorney to be a public notary. And there's a whole lot of things in Costa Rica, like when it comes to buying automobiles, property, and stuff like that, where you have to have a public notary to stamp it and put these seals on there in order to get that. Am I correct in that?
Yes. Also, we have an official book as public notary, so that's a very main thing to do business right here. So everything is through not a public notary.
Okay. Let me move on to Mario, because when you, as an expat, you come into Costa Rica, I mean, the first thing you're going to do at some point in time, and of course I always encourage people to rent first for a while, find the place they want to live. But when they do find the place, they're eventually going to buy some property, whether that's buying an automobile, whether that's buying land and building a house, or whether that's buying a house that's already there. Well, unfortunately, you're going to have an attorney, and the attorney that's going to know what he's talking about is going to be an environmental law and sustainability specialist, and that is Mario Sanchez. Mario, give me a little bit of history about what you do and how long you've been in the legal field.
Thank you for your time, Richard. Well, I have been working on several different kind of law. I start on human rights law and corporate law. That's my background. But a few years ago, I decided to change to environmental law, because I believe environmental law is something that it is gonna get a little bit bigger since now on, and I hope it's a place that I can develop myself, and also I can help the environmental and my country. So I believe it's a good opportunity to me to prove, to show my skills and to show my knowledge. So that's the thing that I decided to get into this area.
Here's what is so important. Costa Rica is very, very big on their environment, and they want to make sure that it's, whether it's the water, the land, the forest, the animals, they're taking care of their environment. And you are a specialist in the environmental and specialist law, so that when people do come to Costa Rica and they decide to buy land, because it's like, where I live at, I cannot cut down trees down there. Costa Rica protects a lot of its environment. So it's important that when you go to a law firm, when you hire an attorney, I've spoke with so many attorneys, and when I tell them where I live at, they're like, sorry, we can't help you because we aren't that kind of specialist. And BlueZone Legal does have an environmental law and sustainability specialist. So it's really good to know that. So I'm so glad that you're on the BlueZone Legal team,
Thank you.
Mario.
Thank you very much.
So, whenever you come to Costa Rica, you're going to, at some point in time, you're going to decide that you need to get your residency. And, you may decide, well, what residency do I qualify for? You might qualify for a pensionado, which just means you're retired, or maybe you're a rentista. It means you're still working. You're not old enough to be retired. You might want to be an investor. And there's many different categories, but you've got to find somebody that specializes in that. Okay. And then, of course, maybe you decide that you want to be, you might want to start a business, and you might want to know more about corporate law. Well, hey, Jocelyn Garcia is BlueZone Legal's residency and corporate specialist. So, Jocelyn, give us a little bit about your history.
Thank you, Alan. Well, my expertise primarily lies in real estate and corporate, but particularly in as you mentioned, and immigration matters. But before becoming a lawyer, I was working at the hospitality business, so I know that customer service is very important. So working in a boutique firm as BlueZone Legal is very positive for me, because I can mix my previous experience and now, well, with my career. So I'm very glad to be part of the BlueZone Legal team.
When it comes to residency, hey, they can be in the United States and sending that paperwork. They don't have to be in Costa Rica in order for them to start that process. There are times when they'll have to come to Costa Rica and they got to sign paperwork and stuff like that, but they don't have to be here the whole time to get their paperwork done. Am I correct in that?
You're absolutely correct. And something else, not only you don't need to be in Costa Rica to, start the process of collecting the documents with us, but if you're U.S. citizens already in Costa Rica and you need your document from the U.S., we have Alliance, a provider in the United States. We can get you fingerprinted in our offices or pretty much anywhere in Costa Rica, and we coordinate with our U.S. or Canadian provider, and we get criminal records from USA and Canada. We get criminal birth certificates from both countries. We get marriage certificates from both countries, petrol application letters, and we also help clients procuring documents from certain countries of Europe, like Italy and the UK, and we may also assist in Germany. I speak German. We can guide at least the people getting documents there, which is not very common in residency law firm. They just take care, they wait for you to deliver them the documents, and they submit them and take care of the process. We start before. We can even help with document procurement.
Fantastic. Cristina, you have an awesome team right here. You've been working in the legal field for such a long time. You created BlueZone Legal, and now you're 1 year old. Tell me, just out of curiosity, if I were to ask you, what is the percentage of your clientele? Tell me, what is your clientele?
Sure. Thank you for the question. So most of our clients are expats, as I was mentioning before. I will say maybe 55% from the US, 30% from Canada, and 13% from Europe, and maybe 2% Costa Ricans.
So it sounds like you have really been trying to set yourself apart to help expats, because, hey, you're an expat yourself. You understand what expat needs, and you can help them to be able to transition and get everything that they need when they decide to come to Costa Rica.
Yeah, absolutely. I used my journey, as an attorney in Italy who relocated to Costa Rica, starting working as a business consultant here. I'm an entrepreneur, and I put everything on the table to create BlueZone Legal. And I also use my personal experience as an expat who bought a property here, who purchased a vehicle, who invested in a corporation, who has been to the residency process to share this with other expats. And I have, an amazing team of legal experts, attorneys, and notary public who provide amazing services to all BlueZone Legal clients. They are the one that do the job and do everything right. I just enjoy the ride.
I mean, it's important because, you are passionate about the law. I mean, it's kind of like me. People that know me, they know that I am an internet nerd. I mean, when it comes to software, when it comes to online, I mean, my passion is, I'm an internet nerd. I know my software. I know the internet. And well, you are a legal nerd. I mean, you love to dive into the legal. You want to know everything about the legal needs, and you just love helping people with legal. And I love that about you, And so every good firm needs a leader that can lead them and oversee and make sure that everything is just right. And what is great about BlueZone Legal is that y'all work together. Together y'all make a great team. It's not one person trying to do everything. You make sure that everything is running on track. Eddie is there making sure that everything is legal. He's the senior attorney, public notary. You've got Mario right there making sure that environmental law and special and sustainability, everything is perfect. You got Jocelyn making sure that, hey, when it comes to residency and corporate, everything is working. Y'all are an amazing team working together to make sure that when an expat comes down here, everything is taken care of. For me, when I come to Costa Rica, there are a lot of roadblocks. But when I want an attorney, I want an attorney that can help me. I don't need it. I don't need another roadblock. I don't need another problem. And BlueZone Legal has really made life great for me. It's been a pleasure to really just introduce your whole team. Is there anything else that we really need to know about BlueZone Legal?
Shall we tell why we are BlueZone Legal?
Yes, tell me why. Why is it's BlueZone Legal, not something else?
Yeah, so after Cribo, I wanted to create something that reflected myself, but I would have never put a law firm like Guerrini Law Firm. So I'm not an attorney here, so that wouldn't make any sense. What I am is a person who comes from a blue zone, the blue zone of Sardinia, and relocated to the blue zone of Costa Rica. And I want to help other people coming to Costa Rica and enjoy the blue zone of Costa Rica. We have 2 offices, and one is in the blue zone in Guanacaste, in the Nicoya Peninsula, better said near Nosara. So that just sounded like the perfect name. BlueZone Legal, let us help you relocate to the blue zone of Costa Rica. That's really our message.
That's fantastic. So, BlueZone Legal, in my experience, really can help you with pretty much anything that you need when it comes to your legal needs in Costa Rica. So I'm really excited to be able to introduce the whole BlueZone team. If you're interested and you want a quality law firm to help you with your legal needs in Costa Rica, make sure you click the link in the description below. You can download a free PDF, and that PDF will give you all of the information you need in order to contact BlueZone Legal. Now, you do want to be careful because, hey, look, there are, other websites, and they like to use the word blue zone, and so it could be easy to maybe find a law firm or another company that has blue zone in there. So you want to make sure that you click the link, download that PDF so that you can make sure that you have the right law firm assisting and helping you. And that way you won't have any problems whatsoever. Contact Cristina, and that way she can help you with anything that you need when it comes to your legal needs in Costa Rica. All right, folks, this has been another Is That Legal podcast. We can't wait to see you next time. All right, folks, we'll see you next week.
Bye.